Welcome agents. Today I want to go over everything from today's state of the game, break it all down for you, discuss the possibility of Loot 2.0 being a title update 6 focus based on a comment from one of the game designers, and a little bit more. If you enjoy this video, please hit the like button below, subscribe for dedicated Division 2 content, and let's get to it. Alright agents, so today's state of the game was Chris Gansler and Hamish Bode. It was quite a short one, to be completely honest. We didn't get a whole lot of new information, but we did get a little bit of sort of tidbits here and there. So firstly, I just want to confirm that there will be no maintenance tomorrow, but there may be one Friday. The devs did say that there are some possible fixes coming into play. They didn't exactly say what they were, and they didn't actually say what the issues are, although they did go on to talk about issues with Title Update 5. They said that they will reveal in due course, probably tomorrow, what's going to be changed for Friday. They went on to talk about raid leaderboards for completions being removed. There's no exact reason why this has happened. Chris actually said he doesn't know why it happened. It's with the devs and they don't know why it's happened, whether there was an issue with it causing issues with other parts of the game. They don't know. But it's something they're going to find out, and they're going to see whether it needs to come back or not, basically. So yeah, we'll hear about that shortly as well. They went on to talk about what come as part of episode 1. I've covered this in multiple videos. I'm sure you're all aware of what's come as part of episode 1. Obviously, for anyone with the year 1 pass, you've got the narrative content, which has come out as of yesterday, and for anyone without the year 1 pass, that will come out in a week's time. So that's the 2 new main missions and the expeditions. I did yesterday cover the BTSU gloves, which are the new exotic gloves, the Stoner LMG as well, coming from the 2 new missions along with the Carbine 7. I just wanted to state that actually all of this stuff can come from anywhere, basically. So yeah, it can be dropped anywhere. The only thing that you can't get right now is the new exotic Razorback, which is the, not Razorback, Diamondback, which is the new exotic weapon as well, which is time gated behind the expeditions. So that will be available to everyone, I believe, in 4 weeks, because that will be the 4th week with the last week where you can do, will be so-called the final episode of expeditions where you can do the last part, and that's when you're going to get Diamondback. But everything else can be gotten from anyone, from any activity. I've seen people saying they got the BTSU gloves from just doing random missions and just general open world stuff. It's dropped. It's a very low chance, but there is a chance there. Now moving on, they talked about the apparel event, the new Heatwave event. I did cover this yesterday. I went through everything on that. If you've not seen that, then go check out my video from yesterday. They confirmed that this will go live from July 23rd, so yesterday, up until August 15th. So for the first 3 weeks, you obviously get the chance to acquire the free keys, and these come from sort of proficiency caches from Dark Zone and field proficiency caches. And this will go on to August 14th. Sorry, so it's July 23rd to August 14th. It goes on to a maintenance on the 14th. And after that point, you'll only be able to use the keys that you already have. So you won't be able to obtain them through getting proficiency caches or anything like that. And you can also buy keys at that point as well. And this will go on for a further 7 days, bring you up to August 22nd. And this will be your last chance to get the scuba diver outfit, that being the main sort of outfit for the Heatwave event. Now, they did go on to talk about signature weapon skins. I'm going to show them on screen now in-game for you guys. I'll also show some screenshots that were in today's State of the Game so you can see what they are. They're actually pretty cool. They did say that, you know, this is what people wanted or people have been asking for. And, you know, at the moment you can actually only buy them using premium credits. Maybe down the road that might change, but for right now you can only buy them. There's one for each one, and they did want to confirm that these are unique to each weapon. So if you are considering going to buy, say, for example, the sharpshooter weapon skin, you won't be able to remove that skin and put it on, you know, an M16 or whatever it might be. It is unique to that weapon, so just want to make that abundantly clear. Moving on, the devs went on to talk about the issues with TU5, these mainly being sort of bugs and all that sort of stuff. Not issues, i.e. are people happy with how it went down, but just general bugs and stuff. They've talked about the Defender drone in PvP now. Again, I covered this, I think it was a video 2 days or maybe a day before Title Update 5 came out, and I predicted that basically you're going to get to a point with this update where you could have a Defender drone out and it could tank 2 to 3 mags of damage from, say, like a P416. Well, that's exactly what's happened. There's a video going around on Twitter and stuff which has been tagged towards the devs, and they've seen it. Basically, it's where, I think it's in the Occupied Dark Zone, I could be wrong, but basically a guy puts down a Defender drone and he tanks 2 full mags of a P416, over 100 bullets, and what I mean by tanks is the Defender drone mitigates 80% of the damage. so it must have been in the ODZ. But basically the Defender drone mitigates all of that damage because all the PvE stuff applies to the Occupied Dark Zone. So in PvE, the Defender drone tanks 80% damage mitigation. In conflicts and other modes like that, then it will be normalized modes, then it will be 20%. But obviously in the Occupied Dark Zone, then yeah, you're tanking 80% of bullets for over 100 bullets, and it's a problem. You know, people are pretty much invincible in the Occupied Dark Zone, and from my understanding, it doesn't work as well in PvP within normalized modes, but it's still really, really strong. So the devs have confirmed they're looking into it. They are working on a fix. They believe they have a fix, and it should be ready for Friday. That's not guaranteed, but they're hoping to get out a fix for Friday. They didn't say what that fix will be, but I imagine it will either be that the duration will be reduced massively, or the amount of duration that's reduced by each bullet will be increased drastically. We'll have to see what happens with that. They went on to talk about the crafting bench issue, not allowing you to upgrade to 500. Again, they're working on a fix. They didn't confirm when this will be, but that's a known issue. The theatre settlement downgrade is a visual bug. They went on to talk about the Firefly Max Target mod. At the moment, it's not actually increasing the amount of targets, so I think you normally get, 3 or 4 targets on a Firefly. So if you want to add 6 to that, that mod's not working. So they're looking into this. Possibly they've got a fix for this for Friday as well. They want to talk about blueprints not showing up on rewards. So if you're doing sort of level 3 or level 4 control points, and you know you should be getting a blueprint, there's a visual bug where it will show that you didn't get anything, but actually what they're saying is that you should still get it in your blueprint. So go check that out. If you've not, then that's another issue altogether, and you'll need to report back on that. But from their own testing, it's just a visual bug as of right now. Now, spoiler, because if any of you guys have not played the new missions, this is kind of a spoiler as to what's included in the mission. So just maybe skip ahead, maybe 30 seconds. The monorail in the Manning National Zoo, basically there's an issue where it's not requiring all players to be ready to go towards the monorail, and it's just going away, meaning people are not getting the loot that they want. Again, there's an issue here, and they're going to be fixing that as soon as possible. And then they wanted to talk about the long loading times being addressed. This is PC only. This is different to the PTS. This is different from Title Update 4, where there was long loading times on PC. It's a new bug. They don't have a whole lot of information about it at the moment, but some people have reported this is also an Xbox issue or a console issue as well, so they're going to be looking into that as well. Aside from that, they didn't really talk about much else. That was pretty much it, but I don't want to end the video there because Bruce, one of the Division 2's game designers, basically come out recently. It was on Twitch streaming, and this has been uploaded to Reddit, as I said, where he kind of comments on the loot grind and its relation to TU6. I'm just going to play the clip of what's included in the Twitch, and you can see it for yourself. But what it looks to me to be is basically Bruce saying that the focus for TU6 will certainly be on Loot 2.0. That's not to say that PvP won't be included, and the devs confirmed this on State of the Game. They're not, you don't have to choose one. You can't just, we're just going to focus on loot, or we're just going to focus on PvP. They've said that they want to focus on both. But this specifically says, or Bruce specifically talks about TU6 being kind of a focus, at least for loot. So I was going to play you the Twitch footage, but it's got some music over it. It's probably get copyrighted. So instead what I've done is I've made a note of exactly word for word what was said, and I'm going to read to you now exactly what was said by the developer. Ideally, we would like it so that you can farm in a reasonable amount of time, an effective build, and then also at the same time have the sort of bandwidth to farm alternate builds for different kinds of playstyles, and not make it feel really punishing or that you're wasting your time and not moving towards a raid viable build necessarily. So that's stuff we're going to be continuing to work on, in particular for TU6. The next update is going to be addressing that. I can't say more right now, unfortunately. So there you have it from the horse's mouth. It does appear that Loot 2.0, whatever you want to call it, but Loot will be looked at in TU6, and maybe or maybe not they'll look at PvP as well. I think Loot is the most important thing they need to look at the moment. From what I can tell, whilst PvP is still in a very bad place, the time to kill changes have actually been very, very good, and they're positive change, and I'm going to cover that in my review of episode 1, which is somewhat I'm working on currently. But for loot, it is probably the biggest thing that needs to be addressed right now. It's the reason why people will continue playing the game, or they will just leave the game altogether. There's no way you can save PvP, at least for right now, but loot, the PvE side of things, needs to be addressed right away. So I'm glad to hear from one of these developers that actually this is something they're looking at for TU6. So yeah, big thumbs up for that. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you did enjoy this one today. As I said, unfortunately it's a bit of a shorter one, i.e. in what we actually got in the news and stuff, but I'm really glad that the Defender drone is being looked at. I'm pretty overall kind of optimistic where the game is going, and again, I'm going to address that in my review. If you do want to leave any comments down below with what your impressions are of Episode 1 and Title Update 5, then please do. I'm likely to put out a community post very soon asking that very question, so you can either put a comment down below on this video or just respond to that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until the next one, guys, epic out.